Today I want to show you one of my favorite exercises to practice comping words in jazz. You can go ahead and practice this exercise every day to improve your beat awareness and to learn rhythmic vocabulary. I promise this will change the way you comp in no time. This is going to be a 7-step exercise, but you don't have to do all of them every day. You can just practice step 1 if you want. Comping is not just about voicings. It's also about rhythm. In fact, I would argue that it's predominantly about rhythm. One thing that you should always be aware of about comping is that it must be organic. When you comp at the piano, you must interact with the other members of the band. You must engage in a conversation with them. You can't just play whatever or whenever you want. Just like in a normal conversation, you must understand what's being said and know how to make your point and express your ideas in the language that the band is speaking. So with that in mind, let me show you a systematic way to practice comping rhythms. Today's comprehensive method is merely based on taking simple rhythmic ideas and then shifting them over an 8th note grid. This system ensures that you'll expose yourself to an entire vocabulary of options that you might never consider otherwise. So we're going to work with a 3-note rhythm. As we do these, actively listen to what each of these words has in common with the previous. Remember, this entire method is based on developing and evolving similar sounding words over the 8th note grid. So try and listen to this evolution as it happens in real time. Step 1, one-word practice. Choose a jazz standard like Autumn Leaves. Choose any 3-note rhythm using an 8th note grid that fits inside of one measure. There are exactly 56 different rhythms that you can choose from. Let's use number 2. And we're going to comp using only that rhythm throughout the entire song. I like to do just a few measures with just a single chord first to get used to playing the word. You can just play rootless voicings on the left hand or use big chords like the ones we showed you in our last video. Don't forget to anticipate the next chord in the progression if you're playing on the last 8th note upbeat before it. For example, in this measure here, there are 2 chords per measure, so I'll play an A7 here. If, let's say, I was playing rhythm number 35, then I would anticipate the chord on the next measure here. This is a step that you can practice every day. Just remember, there are 56 possible rhythms that you can use. So if you practice one of these every day, it'll take you 2 months to go through all of them. And these are just 3-note rhythms that fit one measure. If you want to practice 2-note rhythms or 4, or use 2-measure boxes or hemiolas and so on, this is an exercise that you could practice for your entire life and barely scratch the surface of what's possible to play. Step 2, word group practice over one chord. If you look at all of the rhythms in letter A, every rhythm is the previous rhythm with the last note shifted an 8th note later. For example, in A1, the last note is on the downbeat of the 2nd beat, while in A2, the last note's been shifted to the and of 2. And we keep shifting the last note until it's on the last 8th note of the measure. Now is probably a good time to address why these simple evolutions look so different from one another on the page. If all we're doing is slight shifts here and there, then why do these words have such different visual appearances? Well, in order to make it more musical, we took the liberty of altering the durations of some of our hits. And while this might at first make it harder to visually relate one word to its variation, it's way more consistent with the tropes of our musical language. Things like the third hit of A2 being lengthened in order to exaggerate the anticipation that's likely to land on such a beat. Or the idea of preserving eighth rests for downbeats only, allowing us to easily see syncopation while we're reading. So we're going to play all of the words in the group in order. Choose any chord you want. If you want, you can even vary the voicings. Step 3, word group over a jazz standard. Now we can use words from the same group to comp over a jazz standard. I would advise against doing the entire group in order because you're adding chord changes and the form on top of the word group, which doesn't necessarily match well. Instead, just improvise choosing the words from the group at random. Don't worry if you play a few words that aren't in the group. Don't fight your need to be musical. Just make sure that you try to use words from the group as much as possible. Remember, if you're too structured when you practice, you'll be too structured when you improvise, and you won't be able to react to what's happening in real time. Step 4, word group by second note shift over one chord. If you look at A1 and B7, you can see that the first note has been made longer from an eighth note to a quarter note by shifting the second note later. And then C12 starts with a dotted quarter and so on. So that's going to be your next group: A1, B7, C12, D16, and E19. And the final bar line here is where the group ends. See? In F22, we're no longer shifting the second note. Now we're shifting the first one. Please notice how some groups are going to be shorter than others, exactly as in step 2. For example, A6 doesn't have a counterpart in B or C or D. Okay, so now practice this group over one chord. Step 5, word group by second note shift over a jazz standard. This is basically step 4, but playing over a jazz standard, exactly as we did before on step 3. Again, don't worry about adding a few rhythms outside of the group. Step 6, word shift group over one chord. Now we're going to work with the exact same word but shifted. You can find this group by looking at the final bar lines. A1 to F22 is the same word shifted by an eighth note. And then K37 is basically A1 shifted a quarter note. Then O47, R53, and T56. Step 7, word shift group over a jazz standard. You know exactly what to do. Like we always say with our exercises, now is the most crucial part where we practice free play or comping. Take all the things that we talked about, that you practice, that's in your muscle memory, and just let it happen organically while you free play. The techniques that we spoke about will inevitably show up in your playing without you even having to try. So the method we talked about today, this method of evolving and iterating simple ideas while simultaneously relating these ideas to one another, is a crucial part of developing your comping and your musical vocabulary. Do a little bit of this every day and watch what happens to your playing after just a relatively short amount of time. Check out our next video where we take our system to the next level, where we use 2-bar words and hemiolas. All of our members will have access to a PDF of today's videos. If you're not a member yet, go ahead and click on the join button or the link down below. YouTube seems to think you're gonna like one of these 2 videos here, so stick around and check those out as well. Thanks for watching.